All right. Shalom, shalom. Kolo Yahawah Yahawashai. Rakatha Yahawah, for your mercy all the time. Kolo Yahawah Yahawashai. Wada Yahawah, for your mercy all the time. Kolo Yahawah Yahawashai. Wada Yahawah, for the akim that you supply. Kolo Yahawah Vashim Yahawashai. Rakatha Yahawah, for your love all the time. Kolo Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashai. Shalom, shalom. Woo! It's your brother Obadiah Yahawah Canaan, and shalom, and salutations to all of the Akim and the Yakwaf, and definitely a special, respectful salutation and my utmost admiration to the apostles who have been bringing this truth out for decades in and decades out, diligently bringing out accuracy of the truth, bringing you the foreknowledge and the for to come knowledge in reference to the accuracy of the prophecies that YAHAWASHI has brought forth in his algorithm of professional prophetic transitions that are coming down, and man, I'm loving it. It's worse and bad as it gets, closer and the faster we get to getting out of this nonsense that we're in. And that's what's up. That's what's most important. Shalom and Shalaki on the fact that I know my camera was acting up a little bit. I've been having some technical issues from Esau Edom, just kind of messing with me a lot. But, you know, as I said before in our lesson prior to this, and you notice the lesson I did when I was out and about, he did a major faux pas on me. Some kind of crazy squeal crap went down. I don't know what that came from. I couldn't do anything about it. But, you know, Shalaki on that, and hey, we're going to push through no matter what. We're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it pushing. And that's what's necessary. Today's lesson is labeled, and I'm sure most of you saw the lesson. I had posted it earlier, but I had a whole lot of things to still get done, and scriptures that Yahawah needed me to get on point with. And Yahawah is about complete balance. Yahawah about complete balance only, always. And we're going to go into that, and we're going to pull some scriptures that were given in reference to that portion of it. But, you know, we always got to make sure that we get in our praise and our prayer and our worship to the Most High. And I always like to start out, if I can, if you'll be so kind as to bear with me. And I'd like to start out with my seminal prayer. You know, I do that very often. My brother, who I love so dearly, Brother Malcolm, he's out of the Chicago camp. I'm gonna have to send him this written prayer in our Reubenite Seminole language, so that he can, you know, also use the prayer as well, because he is my Reubenite brother. Okay, so I'm sure he can appreciate that. And we're going to definitely make sure that we kind of get that in his hands, because that's important in order to give that lesson, that prayer up. Starting out, just want to explain the prayer, because I know that the language is probably not very familiar with most people, because most people don't know of various languages that we are speaking in our captivity, and including and not limited to what we as Seminoles went through. And I was just listening to Brother Malcolm, Elder Malcolm out of GMS Chicago. He had did a post not too long ago. He and I were talking about a couple of things that were very much in common to what about us Reubenites, about what our Reubenite is about. And he also showed some instances about Sand Creek and what happened at Sand Creek to our people, and what was done to us. And I know we don't get much to talk about the Northern Kingdom, because what's utmost importance is the tribe of Judah, and Judah's got to come out first, because once Judah comes out, then all the rest of the tribes come out and follow suit, because Judah's king tribe, which YAHAWASHI came through. So naturally, that's very much of utmost importance. And even Apostle Gabar was speaking on earlier about the fact that we got more trouble coming out the pipe with Judites, Benjamites, and Levites. That's what we get more of our consternation through, for the most part. But they all are brothers and our sisters. They all are Achim and Akwaf, and we love them. And even though we go through these trials and tribulations with these particular people and these particular spirits that the Most High put forth in those particular lineages, we still have to learn to love them, because it's a tough love. It's one of the toughest loves we got to go through, and that's without doubt. But that's why this lesson on balance, that the Most High's complete balance, YAHAWASHI's complete balance, is very important. We have to understand how that works, and I'm going to do the best that the YAHAWASHI brings to me to bring it out and bring it in the right way. And I just praise, worship, and pray that everybody is accepting of it, and that it works out real well in terms of the lesson. So we will see. But getting on to the prayer. Now, what I'll be doing for the most part in the prayer, and I always explain this for those who don't know, I'm speaking now in terms of, this will be the Seminole tribe language, of what we would speak in terms of how the Seminole language was written. And I'm going to pronounce those things in the language that it is that's necessary. And I'm going to explain, I'll be speaking now, O Great Spirit, because what we normally do is call Yahawah the Great Spirit, and YAHAWASHI, Quetzalcoatl. Yeah, I think it's correct. All the people of Seminole tribe, thank you for our land, our water. Thank you for our land and water. We thank you for our dogs who watch over us at night, and our horses who carry us at day. And we thank you for our good food. We thank you for our good wind that blows on our backs. And we thank you for our good thoughts that come from our hearts. Thank you, O Great Spirit, come and eat with us. That's what this prayer will say in terms of me going through this, so that you know what it means and what it says, okay? And it starts. Iska laka laska sanuk kamadu hayena kawoka sanu kamado ihujiaka sanuka mada fubaka sanukatu kamada fanura sanuko kamadu fu hawa na madulasa lakusa hamu baku hasha islasta nanu kamadu hayena waka sana ukamado ifuji kanja na nahumada fubaka na kuhanda kama yuda fu mananara sanuka nadu furana maduka homa baka naraya. All right. Of course, it's to elucidate a little bit. So-called Native American Indians have a deep-rooted belief in nature, spirituality. Of course, we do. And that is both beautiful and profound in terms of how we try to express ourselves. And I know that language in itself has derivatives of Paleo-Hebrew written all in it. I'm sure those who speak it well could probably understand that to a degree. Our connection with all things living and non-living, big and small, is inspiring and it's honorable the way we address it to our Heavenly Father, YAHAWASHI. And there's a quiet silence to nature to embrace it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well in terms of the Most High's balance. And we enjoy natural, authentic, and untouched lands, but unfortunately, we don't have that now. I was listening to Elder Yashwamba earlier today when he was breaking down some of the things that are happening right now to the land, that the puppetized, perfect, wicked weapon that demon Esau Edom is being able to do at this time, because of course what he has been able to get from the Most High at this point, which is running out of time, is he has the fatness of the land, along with the sword of deception, which is what he makes his weapons out of at this time, is getting higher. Now, of course, prayer is a spiritual communication between us and Yahweh through YAHAWASHI. It's a two-way relationship, which a person not only asks of Yahweh, but also listens to him in terms of what he's saying. And this is very important in terms of listening to him as far as balance is concerned and what we're dealing with. And pretty much our prayer to Yahweh is like a child conversating with his father, and it's natural, for a child to ask the father for things that he needs or she needs. I mean, it's very evident that that's the case, right? And the scriptures tell us that we are to pray and to praise, worship, and pray for one another, and it assures us that Yahweh hears and answers our prayers through YAHAWASHI. Jeremiah chapter 33:3, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things, things you do not know. Jeremiah 33:3 is very important in reference to what I'm talking about today in terms of what balance really is between our understanding and YAHAWASHI. Psalms 91:15, he will call on me and I will answer him and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. So we're looking forward to portion of our transition as we move forward here and get into the realm of what we call, or what the YAHAWASHI told me to call it, which is our a predestinated cleansing, but pretty much it's a type of purification, and the purification process is very important in reference for us to be in the presence of YAHAWASHI for eternity. You can't be in the presence of a sovereign Lord and power and creator and then go upon and outside of the court or the temple and defile yourself with those that don't have the law, statutes, and commandments written in their inward parts and are translated and transfigured and regenerated into a righteous entity. We are going to inherit the righteous entity of creation from YAHAWASHI. And when we inherit that righteous inheritance in that new created spiritual and bodies that will have a substance, a matter to it. I was listening to Apostle Aramlam speak earlier today when he did a lesson on in the beginning, which I did one close to that similar, and he talked about building blocks of creation. And I shared electrochemiluminescence, which is the combination of the building blocks and the name for what is used by what our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, created and then gave to YAHAWASHI to build everything spiritual as well as everything physical that is within heaven. And as I stated before, there's a lot of things that we get at various different levels that has been brought out from decades ago from the apostles who have been out decades before us in terms of teaching. And a lot of stuff is not mentioned as much and as frequently as it is now, but it's time for these things in those portions of the book to come out so people can understand some of the things that are going to, kind of solidify and put you in a way of protection in your mind and in your spirit. We're all looking for a way to feel protected in our spirits and our minds as we go through the various different levels of this transitional prophetic process. I've said it multiple times before. When YAHAWASHI conquered the cross, the time, the hourglass that he had, that hourglass that was turned upside down, and at that point it was taken away after his crucifixion, and he rent the Holy of Holies. And then at that point when he did that, that hourglass of time was taken by the Father away, so no longer operating under a pseudo-humanistic type process of offerings of salvation and understanding of what salvation means. That's gone away. So now we're under the Most High Yahawah's hourglass of time, which is completely labeled and listed under a prophetic transitional process where truth is first and foremost, and as Yahawah says, that you have to worship him in spirit and truth. No more carnality-based spiritual overlays for people to try to explain something in terms of a religious capacity that has nothing to do with Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Those days are over. Dealing with people in that capacity is still permeated throughout a lot of what we see, because people become indoctrinated creatures of habit that have been formed and predestined by the Most High to be in this particular lot. As I said before, in having conversation with those who love me and who talk with me and communicate with me about this truth that we're in, I've said it many times before. If the Most High created vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, then understand the role of that. If you're a vessel of wrath fitted for destruction, what will you do? You will just do things that destroy. You're a vessel. You're fitted for destruction, for the day of evil. So all the way up to the time that you do that, this is what you are programmed already to do. Nothing's going to stop what you're predestined to do. It will not be swayed. You can't get someone to do something or convert or become something if Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI already determined what their destiny will be through a predestinated selection of what lot you're going to come from, and what lot you're going to go back to, and what you're going to do to perform while you're here. This is why you have to completely understand that everybody that's doing what they're doing at this time has been predetermined to do this. You just like I talked about this in the lesson prior to this, about this entire process, this entire earth, this whole thing we're living on and what we're going through in this fallen state is set up for a sacrifice to Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. The sacrifice is geared towards our purification that cleanses us and brings us back into the Most High's presence once we get there, and this situation becomes a inheritance of righteousness that you cannot go off and go out of. If you are scheduled to be saved, it was already determined by Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. He determined the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. Now, you have to pick up the clues for the time that you're here again. And I don't know how many times we've been here. That regeneration process is not known to us specifically, and why should it be? Because if he told you or showed you how many times you've been here and how you left, it would mess up the criteria for you to follow to pick up clues, because you would be bugged out thinking about, man, I was here a slave before, and Esau, Edom, the devil pushed me into a big giant vat of oil and boiled me and killed me. Why would you want to know that? It's not necessary. So you got to focus on what your mission is that you agreed to in the spirit world to finish up here. And so everybody has that goal. So all of the nutcases and the weirdos and the spiritual retarded people who are doing what they're doing, the Most High set them in motion to do that. All of the things that are happening right now to this world system we live in, all the toxicity, all the things that are destroying the things that we have to support our metabolism and our bodies and everything else for, that's all tainted and toxic. The Most High is doing this. He has to push this entire system to the complete end of understanding in order for Michael and Yahawashi to crack the skies and come back. I must say it, and you better get it drilled in your head. This place has got to get so bad that the demons don't want to be here. Once you get this understanding, you will start to be able to understand how you should praise, worship, and pray to YAHAWASHI and wrap it in repentance and get on with things. Look, you're not going to stop the bug outs from being bug outs. This is what they've been programmed to do. This is their job from the left-hand side. They gotta be freaking bug outs, point blank, period. So what we need to understand is we got mission. We got to pick up the directives that the Most High YAHAWASHI said we have to do. We have to try to, once we understand that he's putting out directives for us to follow, which is the prophetic process is what he's talking about, which if you're not talking about prophetic process, then you really don't have anything to talk about, because that's what it's all about. This is what the apostles told you from Jump Street, that you've got to get into the prophecies. This is where we are. And you see them happening in front of your face, being broken down in every single capacity. Our Father is complete balance. Okay, I said it before, and I'll say it again. When people talk about their level of understanding, there's stages and categories of understanding in terms of how we break down what we understand from what we're taught, as well as what the Spirit brings to us and how it comes out. Case in point, in this captivity, we have to speak this particular language, which is the language of our captivity. Now, I was speaking 2 different languages of our captivity. All right, I'm trying to speak 3. I'm trying to learn Hebrew, Paleo. I'm trying to continue to learn the Seminole language that we spoke as a tribe that was called Seminoles, but were Reubenites. And I was also speaking English, of course, now, which is the language of our captivity. What I'm saying to you is this: language means a lot. This is why the brothers break down the words when they explain certain things that they bring to you, and they bring it to you from the various different languages, including the original language of Hebrew and Paleo Hebrew, to the Greek captivity language, and then they break down various other languages, because you got the Syriac, you got the Chaldean, you got the Phoenician, you got a lot of different, languages that have been filtered through us as a people through our captivities, in terms of the multitudes of times we went through 7 types of slavery. So this is important to know this. Okay, if we say, and I heard this being broken down in a lesson earlier today, but let me say this portion of it that YAHAWASHI gave to me. Okay. A day with the Lord is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day with the Lord. The day with Yahweh is as. Now, 1,000 years. Let me pull out the as, all right? And then let me say again, and 1,000 years is as one day. When we think about as, what do we usually call or understand that in the various languages that we understand it as far as what's given? Now, okay, when we hear as, it's a similitude to what we call, what the people who call themselves Ish. As and Ish are akin in terms of the understanding of something that is a measurement of something that isn't quite it, but it points to it, and it gives you some understanding of it, but is it really the absolute answer to it? That's important. Okay, let me explain. Most people say, if you say, as it is in heaven, as it is on earth, as 1,000 years, as 1,000 years. The as and the as, what I was given by YAHAWASHI in reference to the understanding that filters down through the men of the Lord who know this as well, is it's not a definitive answer to what? To, do you absolutely have the directive to know that's precise? Is that a precise as that you're talking about? Case in point, if I say something is as, it offers room for manipulation one way or the other. As 1,000 years means it could be exactly 1,000 years, or it could be several thousand years, or it could be longer. It's association to what you may not completely have knowledge of. See, the Father has a lot of these things that he says in reference to how he expresses knowledge at a level he gives us from the metabolism that he created and what he's brought forth in the spirit that's in here in the soul, and then what's that brought forward to your level of understanding as you grow. This is what you get, just like in terms of trying to understand what he looks like and what he doesn't look like. When we show images of Yahawah and Yahawashi, we're going off of what the scriptures say, but it's an as statement. Okay, it's as what the scriptures say, and just like as was supposed in terms of Joseph, in terms of Yahawashi, Joseph is the father. But see, if you don't understand the as portion is something that says you may not be privy to the complete, precise understanding of what we're giving you. So you have a measurement of understanding. You understand? That's what you have. You don't have the precise, because there are mysteries from the Most High that you do not get to express. Just like, right, you have people talk about what's the weight of fire. You don't know what the weight of fire is. What's the weight of air? So you can measure some of these things based on trying to put them in containment fields. A containment field could possibly give you some sort of measurement of a substance that is created by YAHAWASHI. If you could put fire into a containment field, can you measure the weight of it? Now, I'm not saying that this is important. What I'm trying to stress is the as factor in the balance that's important in reference to Most High YAHAWASHI. Let me give you the perfect example I'm talking about. All right, right now, the Most High put the as factor on us in the fallen state that he delineated our existence here on this earth. And as we transition back to him through purification, through cleansing, and through the eternal salvation that we will eventually inherit. But it's an as factor with us in reference to this. Now, the as factor is connected to the Alpha and the Omega. I'm going to explain that too. Now, how is the as factor connected to what I'm saying? In other words, the Most High took his law, statutes, and commandments that he gave to Adam when he breathed the breath of life into him and gave him the law for the first time. Now, when he did that, Adam had the pure law, okay, without the as before he fell. Now, once the law that the Most High breathed into his existence and created him a living soul, meaning he was alive he was quickened with knowledge from the Most High, the as factor was not on him because he was presently whole and perfect at that time. Now, once he fell, the Most High applied as to everything that was in that law that was spread throughout the entire world to multiple nations. And when they got control of various powers that were basically stripped from Adam from the fall of him and Eve, now the as factor affects every single thing that is now being distributed to the world, which was under his control when the Most High gave it to Adam from the beginning. So now, in order to get back into to the garden, or back into the righteousness, or back into the sovereignty of our position as a chosen vessels and people of YAHAWASHI, we have to go through the cycle of the Alpha and the Omega. Now, I'm going to explain that, and we're going to break that, then I'm going to get into my scriptures. Now, what I mean by that is this, okay? When the Most High takes us back to perfect, he is perfect. He's perfect balance. What is the balance of perfectness to Yahawah? I'm not going to venture to try to explain something that's beyond my understanding, but I'm going to try to get as close as the Spirit gave me in terms of this offering, okay? A lot of people say in order to have balance, you have to have good and evil. Well, when we get back to perfect, we won't have to be presented with that as a staple in our existence forever. There'll be a time when Esau Edom will be put in chains. He will do the work that he has to do and pay for what he was destined to pay for as a vessel of wrath fitted for destruction. And he's going to bring back the stuff that he was destroying, and he's going to get it back right. Now, once he's finished, and once Yahweh's finished with him, he will be eliminated from existence. So evil, in that sense, will be eliminated from existence. So then now, do we still have balance? So how is balance measured at that time? Balance is measured against Yahweh, because Most High Yahweh is perfect. He's always been perfect. He can never be nothing but perfect. So he is perfect balance. That's why when you see that infinity sign, you see that infinity symbol. Okay, now you take that into understanding here. The infinity symbol does not stop in terms of its movement of continuous creation. Continuous creation is who Yahweh is. The Most High is continuous creation, perpetual, perennial creation. That's why he gave us Alpha and Omega. Everything he created has the Alpha and Omega creation formula and process in it. Okay, think about it. Everything is. Now, when I say Alpha and Omega, it's that actual infinity symbol. That's what it is, because it doesn't stop. Do you think that after the Most High created us and this earth, this earthly plane, this earth we live on, and as well as all of the rest of what he created at that time, universes, whatever, you think that he stopped creating when it says he rested? At the time when he rested, what he did was, at that time, he didn't rest. I mean, he stopped creating. He just stopped with what he did for this particular portion of offering that he had here. He didn't stop creation altogether. He can't stop creation because he is continuous creation. If you can receive that, you can understand what I'm saying. That's the balance that he is. The balance is YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, like in that infinity symbol, never stop creating. When something dies, it goes through that circle of life, like we heard from the Lion King, right? Okay, but just using that as a little analogy. You understand what I'm saying? Something dies, the seed go in the ground, seed comes back as a plant, and then it starts the cycle again. It's a continuous creation cycle. Everything that the Most High has designed and invented and created has the infinity process and cycle that is continuous within the creation that he is. That's why his name is He Is, because it is continuous creation. So the Alpha and Omega is built in everything. And this is the complete balance that he is, and why it's balanced. So once Esau Edom is deleted from existence, we're going to still be in perfect balance, and we're going to be in perfect order. And you can't take a perfect balance and perfect order that is now set in order and go outside of the temple, go outside of the inner court or the outer court, and take a righteous, sacred, sanctified vessel that has the law, statutes written in it, and defile it with a demon or a devil, because it won't be there, with a heathen that's outside of the temple. How could you? Why? Why would you want to? We're going to be in order. You're going to be under the order of YAHAWASHI, and the fathers got him under order, and King David, and the rest of the 144,000 and the governors thereof, and you will be in perfect order. You won't have any need or means to want to go and do anything that is not made like you are. You're not going to want to do that. It's not going to be put in you to do it, because we're going back to becoming sons and daughters of Yahweh, sons of the Most High. And in that process, you cannot defile the temple that you are. It just ain't going to happen. All right. Now, just kind of breaking that down to go into how the Most High in that infinity process is pure balance, and it will always be balanced. And it starts, and the marker is with the Most High Yahweh through YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. That's why you have that particular symbol. It's like if you have a symbol of a scale, you have the scales, right? You have a perfect balance in the scales. Well, guess who's holding it? Who's in the center of that? The Most High Yahweh. And YAHAWASHI and Ruach HaKodesh, and it's going to be a perfect balance like that. Perfect balance. No deviation from that once we get into the new kingdom and the new covenant. But everything here has to be that sacrifice in order to get there. And that's all been predetermined by the Most High. Everything we're going to go through, everything we're going to deal with, everyone that's going to be either martyred or not martyred, saved or not saved, make it or not make it, or however you want to slice it, everyone's going to be set back to perfect, and the perfect balance is going to be ordered as the Most High has right now in heaven. He is perfectly under control of all the things that are happening right now in heaven as well as on earth. He's in control of all of it. You may not like it, but he is. You may not agree with it, but he is under control with all of it. All right. So you can deal with it or not. Genesis chapter 1, 30, verse 31. And Yahweh saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Balance. He had perfect balance right there in that particular portion of what you see. All right. And so he had thus the heavens and the earth. This is Genesis 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. So everything was finished at that point. Okay. All right. And it said, and on the seventh day, Yahweh ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day for his work which he had made. Now it says, and on the seventh day, Yahweh ended his work which he had made at that time. Now there's a semicolon there, which means it's what he had YAHAWASHI finish, okay? And it's also what he had decided that YAHAWASHI would finish on that particular period of time, okay? He didn't stop creation for good at that point. He didn't stop creating, all right? Make sure we understand that, right? And we don't have to go through the whole sequence of all of that, because that's not what we're pulling, all right? And the next, where I'm going next, because remember, I'm talking in reference to balance here. We're dealing with balance, all right? Okay, let's see, I want Ecclesiasticus. I think that's what I want. I want 7. 7, was it 16? Yeah. So what I got? Do not be. All right. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 16, it says, be not 16, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Okay. Why I brought that one out was because I'm not trying to be over righteous. I'm not trying to be over wise. I'm just giving you what he gave me in terms of what understanding the breakdown comes down from time and study and research and getting the Spirit to work on me when the Most High says this is what you need to talk about. And so this is why I come with the information that you hear. Okay, I'm going to go now to Psalms. So go with me there. Psalms, going to 90, and I'm going to pick up 12. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Okay. 13, return, O Yahawah, how long, question, and let it repent thee concerning thy servant. Okay? O satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad in our days. Okay? Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hadst afflicted us, and the years wherein we have seen evil. And let thy work appear unto thy servants, and thy glory unto their children. All right. And then the last verse I want to pick up on this one in Psalms 90. And let the beauty of Yahawah, our power, be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us. Yea, the work of our hands, establish thou it. So we want that in order for us to try to understand the clues that are coming to us about how balanced he is in everything that he deals with. There's nothing that he does not already cover and that he has not already taken care of. Everything has already been established through YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. There's nothing that has not been established. It's just the time frame that we think we're on doesn't necessarily match up, if it does, with what his time frame is. It's like when I was talking earlier to one of my Israelite colleagues, one of the ones who I speak to quite often about things, and many that I do talk to, we talk about the fact that there's a lot of things that happen that Esau Edom's given some opportunity to work through deceptively, and sometimes we get confused and we mix it. We mix it up and we mess it up. Like, for instance, we talked about in Ethiopia, they're supposed to be operating in the date of 2014. They're supposed to be in 2014. Now, that could mess somebody up and make some problems for people, because if you travel to Ethiopia and if they're operating under the year 2014 and we're operating under the year 2023, that tells me that the deception level that the Esau Edom, the devil, has been given, is giving him the opportunity, like it says in Daniel, that he could think to change times and months and years and venues and everything else. It's roughly paraphrased. And now, if you know that seems to be the case, then that, of course, tells you that you could run into a very strategic problem with your understanding about how prophecies are being laid out and what you would be willing to accept and believe and understand. Because if you think that would affect you, and it would, 2014, do you believe we're in 2014 in Ethiopia? Do you believe we're in 2023 here in this area of the North America? It's important to understand that our time frame doesn't necessarily mean that that's Yahweh's time frame. The only way we can gauge our time frame close to his is how prophecies laid out and what things are happening in reference to what the Bible's a real good clock for giving you prophetic timelines in terms of what particular period of time we're in, even if they label it a specific number, may not still be accurate. Okay, so just wanted to make sure I brought that out to you. Okay, next we're going to go to Job, and I'm going to Job chapter 31, and I pulled a verse, was that 6? And it says, let me be weighed in an even balance, that Yahawah may know mine integrity. Okay, let me say that again, because you need to understand what I'm saying when I go into talking about this. Yahawah is saying, you're asking of Yahawah, right? Let me be weighed in an even balance, that Yahawah may know mine integrity. How are you weighed in an even balance with the Most High, YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI? Okay? If we go back up to the portion of the lesson where it starts in the beginning of this Job chapter 31, and it reads, and that's why I want to go back up here so I can show you that. It says here, I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? All right. Now, making a covenant with your eyes to the Most High, the eyes are the window to the soul. So if you're making a covenant with your soul to the Most High, you have to honor that portion of it. Second verse, For what portion of Yahweh is there from above, and what inheritance of the Almighty from on high? 3, is not destruction to the wicked? Question. And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Question. Okay. He creates the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. He told you that. So they're going to perform destruction because that's what they're fitted for. Okay. 4, doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? Yes, he does. That's why 6 came in, right? But 5 first. If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hastened to deceit, okay? 6, let me be weighed in an even balance, that Yahweh may know mine integrity. 7, if my step hath turned out of the way, and my heart walked after mine eyes, and if any blot hath cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat, yea, let my offspring be rooted out. See? So the Most High is telling you, understand the clues upon what I've done to set you in the directions and the directives that I've given you. And if you fail to pick up the clues, you have options that will come in your way that will judge to whether or not you will bring more seed into the world. I mean, sometimes you see a situation where people always say, well, if I'm this age or that age, I really would not like to see my children pass before I do. But you know, this is not a factor that is a issue with Yahweh. If Yahweh has destined a child to leave before you and transition back home, then that's what happens. Sometimes he may transition both. He may transition a child and a parent, but not all of them. Maybe 1 or 2 or whatever, or what have you, and take them back to the spirit world, because all souls belong to him anyway, not to us. So he has predetermined who gets to leave in what way and at what time, and nothing stops that, okay? Make sure we understand he is the balance when it comes to that, all right? Proverbs, this is one I know most people most of the brothers have spoken of many, many times before, and it's always a good one to bring out, mainly because it's righteous sense that makes sense when you think about the Proverbs anyway. Okay, where was I? Oh, okay. So we're gonna go to Proverbs, and I'm gonna go to 20 when I get there. Where is it? Oh, sorry, Shalaki. Proverbs, and I want 20, and we're going to read 23. And y'all probably already knew I was going, but you know, I'm just taking you anyway. Diverse weights are an abomination unto the Lord, and a false balance is not good. Man's goings, all right, are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? See, that tells you he's already predetermined what your goings are, because there are of him. Okay, so you can't determine your own way. Okay, it is a snare to the man who devoureth that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry. A wise king scattereth the wicked, and bringeth the wheel over him. The spirit of man is the candle of Yahweh, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upholden by mercy. 29. The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the gray head. The blueness of the womb cleanseth away evil, so do stripes the inward parts of the belly. So the Most High is clearly letting you know that all of the factors that bring a man's goings being of the Lord can make a man then understand his own. How can a man understand his own way? He sets up the portions of your understanding that you're supposed to pick up. He doesn't give it all to you at one time, because that would not be balanced. That would not be a balance. He's giving it to you in portions, and then the portions have categories, and then the categories have times where you have to delineate, or you have to discern the way to move with what he's given you, to make moves, okay? And then he's watching the moves you make. And if you understand it and pick up on the directives correctly, then you'll make the right moves and you'll move forward in the mission that you have for him. And this is the portion of balance that he's offering to how you walk. That's why he said, 23, diverse weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, and a false balance is not good. And we see this a lot when people take the truth of the word and they mix it with their own misunderstandings based on their own agenda, because they're off kilter when it comes to picking up the directives of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, which means you're off kilter, is being off balance. And when you're off balance, you do not bring things to the light the right way. Okay. So that was Proverbs 20:23, and then some added to it. Okay. Next, I'm going to 2 Peter. I'm going to go to 2 Peter. So go with me to 2 Peter to verse, I'm going to 2 Peter 3:17. Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware lest ye also, being led away with an error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. And that's what happens when your balance is off. You will be led away and fall from your own steadfastness. The men of the Lord, who were supposed to be the men of the Lord, who were given the truth from the beginning, have to stay on point with the steadfastness. If you don't, then this is what 17 is telling you. Ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, what you were taught, beware lest ye also, being led away with error of the wicked, okay, fall from your steadfastness, but grow in grace, number 18, and in the knowledge of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. To him be the glory both now and forever. Okay, that's what's important. Okay, so you got to be steadfast and grow in grace, and don't get thrown off balance. Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to Psalms now. I've got a precept from there, so go with me to Psalms, and I'm going to do 62, chapter 62, and I believe I had 9 for that. All right. Okay, I like to pop up just a little bit. I think I did see 8, and I'm gonna take 8 and 9, or maybe a little more. 8, trust in him at all times, ye people. Pour out your heart before him. Yahweh is a refuge for us. That's why I always say praise, worship, and prayer is so much important. You can pour out your heart to him. You've got to do more than just pray to him. You have to show him what the elders who have thrones in heaven are showing him. They're praising and worshiping. There's no time factors up there or in that dimension of heaven. So if that's the case, when we want to earn that same right, why would we not do that here? Why don't we focus a little more concentration on that instead of worrying about if we have to address certain people who the Most High set in the motion in the practice and job of being a spiritual weirdo or a bug out. You know, I've always said this, and the Most High told me to keep reiterating it: just reprove and then move. You know, because we got to get these directives, and we got to figure out what the directives are, and then move with these directives, because our timeline is not the same as the Most High's timeline. Because if our timeline was the same, if we were balanced in our timeline with him, then everything that happens in prophecy, we would already be at least, I would say, somewhat prepared for. You know, we would have a opportunity that once it hits, it wouldn't hit us so hard, because we've had directives that we understood. We picked up the clues. We told us what we had to do, and then we prepared. Just like I've always said about Noah and Joseph and Ezekiel and Jeremiah, when they were told to do something by the Lord, by YAHAWASHI, they weren't completely prepared for what was going to happen, but they were prepared enough that it didn't become so overwhelming that they got destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying that's important here, to pick up on preparedness in a way where you're not off balance, because you're off balance if you're not prepared at all. If you're just sitting around and waiting, and then you don't know what's coming, but you know something coming, and you're not doing anything, then you're gonna be off balance, because you already are off balance, because you're not diligently doing anything to really prepare for the wrath and the judgment that's coming. You're not going to save yourself by preparing here in this world at this point. But what you do is you're showing the Most High your obedience to what he's saying, like what Noah did. Okay, what if Noah decided he wasn't going to go preach for 120 years? Of course, the Most High is going to make him do what he got to do, because the spirit of Jonah is on the world system that's falling right now. And the sign that Jonah was that you ain't getting away from not doing what he's got you programmed to do. So, but the bottom line is you do have to do something. Now, yeah, Jonah ran to Nineveh. Tried to run away from Nineveh, which that was doing something. But even though the Most High let him run, made him think he could run, you can't run, you can't hide from Yahweh Shemel Shai. And you're going to do what he tell you to do, whether you feel you want to or not. But you can kind of pick up on whether or not the clues that you're getting from him, they're really resonating with your spirit. Because if you're not completely confused, bugged out, doing something crazy, then you know that you're picking up on the directives that he told you to do. And when things start to fall down on major wrath, you'll have some form of activity that you can operate under, even though this level of duress is going to be hitting you harder than you could ever imagine, than anyone can imagine. But imagine if you don't do shit. Okay, shocking. Then now what? Okay? If I call you up and I say, listen, what is your plan? Now, if you don't have a plan, then what do you expect to happen to you? Okay? All right, going to the next precept, Shalaki. I'm going to 1 Samuel, go with me, and I'm going to chapter 2, and I'm going to pick up 3. All right, matter of fact, let me go to 2. There is none holy as Yahweh, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our power. 3. Talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Balance. Let me say it again. I'm going to read this again for those who may have looked away when I was reading it, those who may have gotten distracted by what you're not supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be listening to this coming, just so you hear it again. All right, because sometimes I think that we get a little spiritually distracted, okay? So let's get right. 3, talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Where is your humble spirit? Did he build that in you? If it's there, that's akin to a real way of wielding spiritual power in order, by being humble. Talk no more so exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Because what happens? The bows of the mighty, verse 4, the bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumble are girded with strength. So you can be girded with strength. But the point is your strength in balance? That's important. All right. Next, I'm going to Romans. Go with me, chapter 3. And I felt like Romans was appropriate for this one. I mean, there's so much in Romans I could pull, and because it builds a lot when it comes to the balance and stuff. You know, I see so many things in there, but I'm at chapter 3, and I was what was that? Romans 3 and 4. All right, 4. Yahawah forbid, yea, let Yahawah be true, and let every man a liar, as is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So basically, we know that the Most High is saying he is the judge, and he's going to balance everything we do. We're supposed to be balanced, but at times, if we don't pick up the clues, we become very unbalanced in the situation. Okay, this is the chapter in Romans where basically all the world is guilty. Okay, all of the world of Israel is guilty. That's what I'm saying. I ain't talking about the rest of the heathens. You know, that's why it started out in verse 1. We're talking about what advantage have the Israelite, or they said the Jew here, because you know they got a chance to touch this sacred word. What advantage then have the Israelite, the Hebrew Israelite, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of Yahawah. For what if some did not believe? Question. And we have this a lot right now. Okay. Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahawah without effect? See, does your unbelief cause an imbalance in the truth in the prophetic process that goes forward for YAHAWASHI? You can not believe all you want, but you will not create an unbalance in what the Most High is going to bring forward. His purpose, his prophecies, and his timeline is still going to carry forward whether you don't believe it or not. Okay, that's very simple. You can believe that. Okay, for if some did not believe, shall their unbelief make faith of Yahawah without effect? 4. Yahawah forbid, yea, let Yahawah be true and every man a liar, as is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy savings, in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. 5. But if our righteousness commend the righteousness of Yahawah, what shall we say? Question. Is Yahawah unrighteous? Who taketh vengeance? Question. I speak as a man, which I do. All right. Yahawah forbid. For then how shall Yahawah judge the world of Israel, right? For if the truth of Yahawah hath more abound through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? And not rather as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just. And see, this is a lot right there with that statement on how a lot of the men of the Lord, or supposed to be the men of the Lord, get the truth in the beginning, and then they become slanderous and make reports that are unequal and unbalanced. Okay, just let me read that again. And not rather, in parentheses, as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say. So they go at saying about you, to you, and around you that what you told them from the beginning was not accurate enough or appropriate enough. So now you have to become slanderous in your way. And then you go do what? You go do evil. Okay? And that because thinking you're going to force the good to come out. Okay? So whose damnation is just then, right? So I remember listening in the past to some Edomite was talking about, yeah, well, we're going to force God to come down, and we're going to force God to do this or to do that, or to come out of hiding and give us what we want, or prove his existence. So we're going to do all this manner of evil to make it happen. No, you're not, because the Most High is in control of everything. So you demons and devils and you derelicts and you ninjas and everybody else who think you're going to just do stuff and think you can force YAHAWASHI to show his hand. No, you're not, because you don't control the hand. You don't even control your own hand. So don't even try it. That's not going to work. Going to Daniel. Next. I'm going to Daniel. And I'm going to Daniel. And I want Daniel chapter 5. See, when you get old and you can't see, then you be messing up. Shalaki. All right, where am I at? There we are. Boy, I tell you, man. Daniel chapter 5 and verse 27. And it reads, Tinkle, tinkle, thou art weighed in the balance and art found wanting. See, you weighed in the balance. But let's get the whole tinkle, you farcing. All right, here we go. 23. But hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven. Let's just talk about the hand that came out and showed Belteshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's grandson. We gonna talk about it. All right. Okay, going right up here. Weighed in the balance. Here we go. At the top. Should have brought it there from the beginning, right? Chop. This is Belteshazzar's feast, right? Belteshazzar the king made a great feast to 1,000 of his lords and drank wine before the 1,000. And Belteshazzar, whilst he tasted the wine, commanded to bring the golden and silver vessels which his father Nebuchadnezzar had taken out of the temple, which was in Jerusalem. And the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines might drink therein. See, they was being demons and they're going to pay for this, okay? Then they brought the golden vessels that were taken out of the temple of the house of Yahawah, which was at Jerusalem, and the king and his princes and his wives and his concubines drank in them. They drank wine and praised the gods of gold and silver and of brass and iron and wood and of stone, okay? Prelude to what we're dealing with right now, okay? All right, and in the same hour came forth fingers of a man's hand and wrote over against the candlestick upon the pilaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. And then the king's countenance was changed, and his thoughts troubled him, so that the joints of his loins were loosed, and his knees smote one against another. Most High buckled this joker's knees. Okay, he gonna do more than that to a lot of these devils, right? Including some wicked jakes. And the king cried aloud to bring in the astrologers and the Chaldeans and the soothsayers, which is a lot of who we're dealing with right now. And the king spake and said to the wise men of Babylon, whosoever shall read this writing and show me the interpretation thereof shall be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about his neck and shall be in the third ruler in the kingdom. Then came in all the king's wise men, but they could not read the writing nor make known the king's interpretation thereof. Then was King Belteshazzar greatly troubled, and his countenance was changed in him, and his lords were astonished, right? Now the queen, by reason of the words of the king and his lords, came into the banquet house, and the queen spake and said, O king, live forever. Let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor let thy countenance be changed. He ain't going to live forever, and she's wrong. There is a man in thy kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. See, check this out. All right. And in the days of thy father, light and understanding and wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods, was found in him, whom the king Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, the king, I say, thy father, made master of the magicians, astrologers, Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, all in doubles. For as much as an excellent spirit and knowledge and understanding, interpreting of dreams, and showing of hand sentences, of hard sentences, and dissolving of doubts, were found in the same Daniel, whom the king named Belteshazzar. Now let Daniel be called, and he will show the interpretation. Now, when Daniel comes with his interpretation, he's getting it from YAHAWASHI. That's who he's getting it from. It ain't his own, all right? Then was Daniel brought in before the king, and the king spake and said unto Daniel, art thou Daniel, which art of the children of the captivity of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Jewry, or out of Israel, okay? I have heard of thee that the spirit of the gods is in thee, and that light of understanding and excellent wisdom is found in thee. And now the wise man and astrologers have been brought in before me, and they should read this writing and make known unto the interpretation thereof. But they could not show the interpretation of a thing. And I have heard of thee, and thou hast and thou canst make interpretations and dissolve doubt. Now, if thou canst read the writing and make known to me the interpretation thereof, thou shalt be clothed with scarlet and have a chain of gold about thy neck, and shall be the third ruler in the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said before the king, let thy gifts be to thyself, and give thy reward to another. Yet I will read the writing unto the king, and make known to him the interpretation. O thou king, the most high Yahawah gave Nebuchadnezzar thy father a kingdom and majesty and glory and honor. See, the Most High gave Esau, Edom, and these devils the earth, the fatness thereof, and the power of using it. And this is what they have. But check out what's getting ready to happen to them. Okay? And for the majesty that he gave him, all people, nations, and languages trembled and feared before him, whom he would slew, and whom he would keep alive, and whom he set up, and whom he would put down. But when his heart was lifted up and his mind hardened in pride, he was disposed from the kingly throne, and they took his glory from him. And it was driven from the sons of men, and his heart was made like the beast, and his dwelling was with the wild asses. They fed him with grass like oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till he knew that the Most High Yahawah ruled in the kingdom of men, and that he appointeth over it whomever he will. Balance. Okay, here we go. And thou his son, O Belteshazzar, has not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels of his house before thee, and thou, thy lords and wives and concubines have drank wine in them, and thou hast praised the gods of silver and gold and brass and iron and wood and stone, which see not nor hear, nor the gold of whose hand thy breath is, and whose all thy ways hast thou not glorified. Now, just want to stop there for a second. This is what you see happening right now in Babylon, daughter of Babylon the Great right now. They're praising the gods of gold and wood and stone and iron and all this, and they're acting like it doesn't matter, and they can do whatever they want, and they have freedom of choice and to do as thou will, bull crap. And now look what's happening. The Most High is now starting to pour out his vengeance and pour out his wrath and his plagues on everybody, and everybody's getting scared now because they don't know what to do, and they want people to interpret. And we're interpreting it, and they don't want to still believe it. So guess what's going to happen? And we will read. Then was the part of the hand sent from him, and this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, mene, tekel, upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Meaning, Yahweh hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. That's what's happening to this kingdom right now. It's been numbered and it's finished and it's getting ready to be completed. Okay? This is the interpretation of that, right? Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Now, when the Most High weighs you in his balances, if you don't balance out to him directly in his sacred name, in his truth, in the way he wants it presented, in the way he wants it presented to him, he wants his praise, worship, and prayer. He wants it wrapped in repentance. This is the balance. If you don't do it, then don't expect to get directives to go forward and do things right. Don't expect to get delivered, and don't expect to get it right when it comes to how to go through the tribulation that he brings you through, okay? Because what? You're weighed in the balance and you're found wanting because you won't do it his way. You want to do it your own way. You want to do it the way of your organizations. Well, guess what? If you don't do it the way he said, then you're going to get tinkle, tinkle. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to get tinkle, tinkle, euphrasin. Meanie, meanie, tinkle, euphrasin. You're going to get it. You're going to get tinkled. You're going to get euphrasin. And you're going to be meanie, meanie. You're going to come up wanting. So you better understand that, okay? This is the interpretation of meanie. Yahweh hath numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tinkle, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Euphrasis, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. Now, how do you see kingdoms being divided amongst those that are supposed to be in this truth and know this word? How is it divided? Okay, let me put it to you this way. Give you a little analogy, all right? Let's just say the Most High has a restaurant, okay? Let's use that as an analogy. He has a restaurant, all right, and he's serving righteous food to feed you with knowledge and health. But now he has a menu, okay? All right, here go the Most High's menu, right here. He's got the menu, all right? The menu is the law, all the law, 613 commandments. Let's just say we break down the law in captivity to be a shorter version of the menu, all right? Now, let's say you as a teacher, a preacher, a servant, or one who's distributing the law, whatever your title is, you know, elder, apostle, you name it, a bishop, whatever, you memorize the menu. You know the menu of the Lord's restaurant. You know it by heart. You know what's on the menu. You know what's in the menu. You know some of the dishes that will bring you the fruit of knowledge, the food of knowledge, and you know the menu. And so you break down the menu and you say, man, you need to eat this right here because I had it. I've studied it. I understand it. I'm in it to win it. And I know this menu like the back in front of my hand, and this is the menu. And if you want to eat good, you got to do it this way. You got to eat it this way. You got to love it this way. You got to taste it this way. Let me tell you how it's going to taste. You remember the menu of the Lord's restaurant so good, you're going to tell me how something on the menu tastes. That's how well you know it. Well, guess what? That's fine. But let me put it to you this way. I want something that's not on the menu. I want to go to the chef, and I want to go to the one who created the meal, and I want to ask that chef and that who created it in the Lord's restaurant, can you give me something off the menu? This is what I'm looking for. This is what the Lord feeds me at times. He gives me something that's not on the menu, baby. How about that? Are you getting stuff that's not on the menu, or are you getting things that are on the menu that you memorize, and then you're going to tell somebody how to taste it, and guess what? My taste buds and your taste buds, are they the same? Are we supposed to taste the same thing? Or are we supposed to think the same thing? Yes, we are. But guess what? Sometimes you're going to get something off that's not on the menu. Now, how about that? Would you be interested in that? How about that taste? Sometimes you might want a taste that's unknown to you. You get a special meal sometimes from YAHAWASHI, something that wasn't on the menu. How about that? You go and get the word. And that, like he said, there's going to be more word coming out. The books will be open and more will come out. Save the 70 for the wise, for the wise. Save the 70 books for the wise. Y'all know the scripture. This is where we at. How about that balance, right? Now, Shalaki, we was at Daniel. We get ready to wrap it up. We're going to go back to Proverbs here. And we get ready to wrap this up because I know y'all probably getting sick of me. I'm on Proverbs 16, but you know what? You know I don't care. I don't. You know, I'm going to give it to you where that is. Proverbs 16, verse 11. All right. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. I'm trying to reach the ones who are supposed to hear this. Okay? I really am. All right? Again, a just weight and balance are the Lord's, are Yahweh's. All the weights of the bag are his. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Okay? A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment if he's led by YAHAWASHI. That's what's important. Okay? Because you don't want a false balance, which we're going to go to Proverbs 11, and we're going to read that. All right? And Proverbs 11, a false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. So no matter how much FRNs you got or gold or whatever, during the day of wrath, it ain't gonna do you no good if you're not in line with the Most High YAHWASHI. But righteousness delivereth from death. 5, the righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. And who's the perfect? Yahweh, BAHASHAM. But the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. 7, when a wicked man dieth, his expectation shall perish, and the hope of the unjust men perish. 8, the righteous is delivered out of trouble, but the wicked cometh in his stead. 9, a hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through knowledge shall just be delivered. 10, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoices, but when the wicked perish, there is shouting. But the blessing of the upright, the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. He that is void of wisdom despiseth his neighbor, but a man of understanding holdeth his place. 13, a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Where no counsel is, the people fall, right? But in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. Now, I like that one. That's 5. Where no counsel is, the people fall. There's no balance there. He that is surely for Shalaki, he that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth stewardship, sureship is sure. A gracious woman retaineth honor, and strong men retain riches. The merciful man doeth go to his own soul, but he that is cruel troubleth his own flesh. The wicked worketh a deceitful work, but to him that showeth righteousness shall be a sure reward. And that's balance and unbalance right there, and right straight in front of your face. A righteous tendeth to life. So he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death. Okay? We only got a couple more here. All right? The right, Shalaki, they that are of a forward heart are abomination to Yahawah, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. As a jewel of gold in the swine's snout, so is a fair woman which without discretion. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. There is, Shalaki, there is that scattereth that yet increaseth, and there is that withhold more than is meet, but it tendereth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. Balance. Okay? He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. He that diligently seeketh good procureth favor, but he that seeketh mischief, it shall come upon unto him. He that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. See, this is all of my precepts here from this part of Proverbs is showing the magnitude and the similitude between balance from the Most High, right? All right. He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of righteous, Shlaki, the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that winneth souls is wise. The last one, so we'll finish up here. Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more the wicked and the sinner. This is what you understand. The Most High balance starts with Yahawah, and it filters down through YAHAWASHI and all of the host of heaven, and everything is in order. And let me tell you this, if you say something and you preach something and you teach something and you push something that's not in order, you're out of balance. And you're not connected to the Most High BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. And the way you're not connected and being unbalanced, it means he's putting you on the left-hand side where he has the unbalanced working in order. Check that out. He has the left-hand side working in unbalanced, but he still has it in order. Figure that one out. Call Yahawah, my Father, Yahawah, Barakatha, Yahawah, for your mercy all the time. Call Yahawah, Washi, Yahawah, Barakatha, Yahawah, for your mercy all the time. Call Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, Babakasha Yahawah, for your mercy every time. Oh Lord, Yahweh, Vashim, Yahawashi, Barakatah, Yahweh, for your mercy.